Diablo sent players to hell, StarCraft had them scrambling to construct additional pylons, but for many people, the franchise that made them fall in love with Blizzard is Warcraft. On November 23rd of 1994, Warcraft orcs and humans hit the market and transported gamers into the high fantasy realm of Azeroth for the very first time ever. According to former Blizzard VP Bill Roper, the initial story was largely improvised. Since then, the lore has expanded by leaps and bounds, evolving into a sprawling, complex tapestry of interweaving storylines. Now, with 3 real-time strategy games, multiple expansion packs, a sprawling MMORPG, a highly addictive card game, a myriad of tie-in novels and comics, and a feature film adaptation on the way, it can be a daunting world for the uninitiated. Fortunately today, we're here to tell you everything you need to know about Warcraft. Okay, starting off, Warcraft, orcs and humans. In the beginning, the orcs lived on another world on a planet named Draenor. But Draenor was a dying planet, so the orcs were stuck living in this horrible, bloody, warlike existence. However, everything changed for the orcs when a powerful group of their warlocks noticed an interdimensional rift and slowly opened a portal, the Dark Portal to be specific, to escape their dying world and transport their people to another planet named Azeroth. Azeroth is a planet mostly populated by humans, where no one has ever seen or heard of an orc in their lives. Meanwhile, an ever-increasing amount of orcs keep pouring through that portal, terrorizing nearby human settlements. The actions of this orcish horde turn into a full-blown war with humankind, as you can imagine. This would become known as the First War. Luckily, not all of the orc race agreed with the warlocks in conquering Azeroth, so they reached out to the humans in peace. This led to an alliance between the good orcs and the humans to defeat the fell magic-using warlocks. Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness and Beyond the Dark Portal. The Second War saw the human survivors who had taken refuge in Azeroth's Kingdom of Lordaeron battling against a new army of orcs who keep using that damn Dark Portal to funnel their troops into Azeroth. Thanks to a couple orcish civil wars among their clans and a ferocious effort by the forces of the Alliance, they managed to destroy the Dark Portal. But in the process, they accidentally left an expeditionary force of the Alliance's greatest heroes on the other side, on a dying planet of Draenor, where they were presumed to be dead. But that's another story for another expansion pack, which we'll get to eventually. Guys, there is just so much friggin' lore. Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. Okay. Here's when things get really crazy, as if they weren't already like bonkers.com, okay? Now, instead of being primarily a humans versus orcs style affair, it's humans versus night elves versus undead versus orcs. Throughout Azeroth's history, a demonic army known as the Burning Legion has been operating behind the scenes, using its corrupting influence to take over Azeroth. So after a period of relative peace following the Second War, a third war erupts after a human prince named Arthas is corrupted by the cursed sword Frostmourne. Because, spoiler alert, it was a rune blade left behind by the Lich King Ner'zhul. Anyway, all-out war unfolds as Arthas, now an undead Death Knight, serves the Lich King and tries to take over the Burning Legion. Meanwhile, the orcs and the humans are tearing down forests to help their war efforts, prompting a Fern Gullion bath salt-style fracas with the Night Elves. Long story short, the elves, orcs, and humans team up to take down the Burning Legion, bringing peace to the land once more. Okay guys, Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. Because Azeroth can never have nice things for too long, Arthas, then the demonic night elf, demon hybrid, Illidan Stormrage vie for control of the Frozen Throne, the ancestral fortress of the Lich King. After a vicious duel, Arthas claims victory, donning the Lich King's crown and becoming one with the ultra-powerful undead entity. You know, something that definitely probably won't totally come back to blow up in everyone's face. Okay, 10 years later now, we are at World of Warcraft. In 2004, World of Warcraft made its debut on the 10th anniversary of the Warcraft franchise. No longer as an RTS, but in the form of an MMORPG. In World of Warcraft's vanilla version, as it has come to be known, the new horde with Orc Thrall in charge has expanded its scope to include the orcs of Durotar, Banshee Queen Sylvanas Windrunner and her undead Forsaken, the Darkspear Trolls, and the beefy bovine warriors, the Tauren. Opposing them is the Alliance of Lordaeron, comprised of the Iron-Forged dwarves, humans of Stormwind and Theramore, the Night Elves of Kalimdor, and those crafty little gnomes. Okay, so though the ongoing war between Horde and Alliance would irrigate the land in the blood of the fallen, far greater threats to both factions arose in the forms of the Fire Lord Ragnaros, the Black Dragons Nefarian and Onyxia, and a sinister blood god summoned by a cult of bad orcs. Both sides would come together to fight an ancient race of sentient bugs in Ahn'Qiraj. Likewise, when the Lich King Kel'Thuzad brought his gigantic floating necropolis Naxxramas over the land, it took heroes from both sides of the war to defeat him. Oh, and let's not forget the most devastating menace in all of Azeroth.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
Okay guys, where are we at now? Right, the Burning Crusade, the next era in Warcraft's history, saw the addition of 2 new playable races. The Blood Elves of the Horde and the Draenei of the Alliance, who kind of look like fantasy versions of 1980s karate movie bullies and the Na'vi with tentacle beards, respectively. Anyway, it's bad news bears for the Horde and the Alliance alike when the Dark Portal is reopened! Aha! By the Doomlord Kha'Zix. I mean, that name alone is pretty damn imposing, Doomlord, but I digress. The demonic army of the Burning Legion floods through the gateway of Azeroth, wreaking havoc across the land. In order to close it, Horde and Alliance members must journey to the scorched world of Outland, where the Burning Legion runs rampant and Illidan's storm rage reigns supreme. To make matters worse, the traitorous blood elf known as Kael'thas Sunstrider sought to use the Sunwell, the legendary source of the blood elf's magical power, to summon a demon lord, Kil'jaeden. Throw in a pissed off troll warlord and now you got one hell of a recipe for an interplanar smackdown. Wrath of the Lich King! Hail to the king, baby! Namely the Lich King, who tries to take Azeroth to the Bone Zone by unleashing multiple necropolises across the land. And yeah, we know exactly how that sounded, okay? Facing a threat like no other, the Horde and the Alliance came together to battle the Lich King and the undead army that he raised, called the Scourge, along with the Lich King's fortress, the Wrathgate, but both the Horde and the Alliance incurred many losses. Thankfully, 2 heroes arose to help save the day. To quote the great poet 2 Chainz, we love bad bitches. That's our problem. And we love the human sorceress Jaina Proudmoore and the Banshee Queen, Lady Sylvanas Windrunner. 2 of the baddest bitches in Azeroth, fighting for love and vengeance respectively. The duo led an assault on Icecrown Citadel, ultimately slaying Arthas once and for all with the aid of High Lord Tyrion Fordring. And thus, Arthas was able to shuffle off this mortal coil, earning his eternal sleep in the Friend Zone or wherever Lich Kings wind up. Cataclysm! What happens when Extreme Home Makeover comes to Azeroth? Well, you get Cataclysm, in which the malevolent dragon Deathwing the Destroyer, aka Neltharion the Earth Warder, tears through a dimensional shift, radically altering the landscape of Azeroth. To make matters worse, as a housewarming present, Deathwing left the elemental realms open. Because, you know, cool, allowing the Twilight's Hammer cult to try and end all life on the planet by bringing about the Hour of Twilight. Awesome. The political landscape changed too, with the orc warrior Garrosh Hellscream coming to power and plunging the Horde back into the war with King Varian Wrynn and the Alliance. As Deathwing and his followers tried to bring about the devastating Hour of Twilight, a group of heroes traveled back through time to retrieve the Dragon Soul, a powerful artifact capable of stopping the devious dragon. With the aid of the orc shaman Thrall, the heroes managed to destroy Deathwing and save the day. I did that raid. Trust me. Miss Pandaria! Imagine the plot of Kung Fu Panda, but add in orcs. Boom! Next one! Kidding aside, Miss Pandaria found members of the Horde and the Alliance lost in the land of Pandaria, which seemingly appeared out of nowhere once a mysterious fog dissipated. Pandaria soon found itself subjected to a massive invasion by the Horde and Alliance alike as they battled to plunder its treasures and claim it for themselves. As the battling continued, yet another evil dragon came onto the scene, Wrathion, the last surviving black drake in all of the land. Manipulating both Horde and Alliance alike, he engineered a gigantic military conflict, culminating in the Siege of Orgrimmar. The Alliance ultimately proved victorious, but rather than choosing to destroy the Horde, Varian allowed them to live if they swore to live honorably. Warlords of Draenor! So, what happens when the Alliance finally triumphs over the Horde? Well, a trial for Garrosh Hellscream so he can be held accountable for all of the war crimes and atrocities that he committed. Unfortunately, he managed to escape. And with the aid of yet another dragon. Seriously, guys, the dragons are getting out of hand. So they travel back in time to the orc homeworld of Draenor. Like all D-bags who managed to travel back in time, Garrosh messed with the past, creating an alternate timeline in which his father Grommash was never corrupted by the blood of the demon lord Manaroth, preventing the orc race's corruption by the Burning Legion. Instead, Garrosh uses technology that he brought back with him to unite the orcs into an iron horde. Yet no matter how hard people, murderous sons included, tried, history has a way of repeating itself. After the Iron Horde suffered a defeat, the nefarious warlock Gul'dan tried to get Grom to drink the blood of Manaroth. Though the orc leader refused, another, Kilrog Deadeye, drank it in his place, corrupting him and turning him into the very first fell orc. With the brutal events of the past threatening to play out all over again, a group of mighty adventurers journeyed to Hellfire Citadel where they slew Kilrog and decimated the remainder of the Iron Horde, as well as the villainous Archimonde who was helping Gul'dan to bring the Burning Legion back to power. Though they were ultimately defeated, Archimonde managed to get Gul'dan through yet another portal, time portal, of course, sending the warlock back into the primary Azeroth timeline. This is just classic Gul'dan, am I right? And that brings us to Legion, the next expansion of World of Warcraft. Alternate timelines can be a real pain in the ass, especially when they involve the evil warlock Gul'dan traveling through a demonic portal to find the remains of Illidan Stormrage. What's the worst that could happen? You know, why would you even ask that? Of course there's going to be a massive invasion involving the Iron Horde, the Burning Legion's return, and the ability to finally become a demon hunter. The last bit sounds really cool and I'm totally gonna do that, but still, freaking Gul'dan every time. And that's a rough geography of the overarching Warcraft story. But as we mentioned, the Warcraft movie will focus on the internal incursion of the Orc Horde through the Dark Portal into the realm of Azeroth. Corrupted by fell magic, the warlock Gul'dan opens a rift into Azeroth, helping to lead the orc armies into the unsuspecting human lands, uniting under the banner of King Lane Wrynn, ruler of the human kingdom of Stormwind. Azeroth's mightiest heroes, including the brave knight Sir Anduin Lothar, the gifted young mage Khadgar, and the powerful sorcerer Medivh. The Alliance will need to give it their all to push the Horde back. But with orc warriors like the ferocious Blackhand Orgrim Doomhammer and the noble chieftain Duratan, the fields of battle will run red with blood. Sorry to say. In other words, this gonna be good. I'm so excited. Obviously, this is just a very high-level overview of the Warcraft story. There are dozens of ancillary tales and in-game player-driven moments that make this such a special and enduring franchise. So tell us, what are your favorite Warcraft moments? Which race class combos do you think are most OP? What do you want to see in Legion? Let's discuss in the comments below. Whether you're watching at home on the DirecTV virtual ticket, heading to Anaheim, or simply just want to know more about BlizzCon, make like Leroy Jenkins and charge over to Nerdist.com for all the latest Warcraft and BlizzCon news.